Hey guys, good morning. I'm going to try to do a video here on how to sew masks. I tried to write on little pieces of paper. You're going to cut one piece of fabric 10 by 8 inches. That's for the front. You're going to cut two pieces of fabric 7.5 by 5.5 inches. That's for the back. So I have all those pieces cut here. Then you're going to use elastic. You can use 1/4 or 3/8 inch. You're going to cut two of those at 8 inches because those are going to sew in. If you want to use the cord, the thread elastic, the cord elastic, you want to cut two of those 12 inches. And if you would like to have something to pinch around your nose, you want to cut a pipe cleaner or a bread tie or a piece of wire at 6 inches. If you use the wire, which is optional, and it's a pipe cleaner or a bread tie, just make sure you take a pair of pliers and turn those ends in so that wire doesn't come poking through your nose. Okay, so this is not a class on how to use your rotary cutter and your mat. I'm assuming everybody knows how to do that. If you don't have a rotary cutter and a mat, use a ruler, a pair of scissors. You can mark on your fabric with a Sharpie and just cut it out. So again, you need one piece of fabric that is 10 by 8, two pieces of fabric that are 7.5 by 5.5, and I am going to use some of my piece of my eco-printed material that we did in our class a couple of weeks ago, and then I have cut two backs. I've gone to the iron and I have just folded up about 1 inch and pressed that down. Can everybody see that? Because it just makes it so much easier to sew in place. So I'm going to change our angle so that you guys can see me working at the machine, and hopefully we can get this done quickly. Okay, so something very important to remember, you're working with right sides together right now, and that little press that we made is going down toward the center of our piece. So I'm just going to sew this first piece right onto here, right sides together. I have not changed the color of my thread. I really don't care. I love these little clips. Okay, bring the needle up, cut my thread out. Now, when I'm doing production sewing, believe me, I'm sewing 50 of these at a time, chain sewing. But right now, I'm just trying to show you guys how to do this and not be intimidating, okay? So I don't need to show off for the camera. Okay, and again, you can pan or clip if you want to. Totally up to you, whatever you're comfortable with. But you can see I've got right sides together, and that little fold is facing down toward the center. That's where we're going to insert our mask. You don't want, our filter. If you don't want to insert the filter, fine. You don't have to. But I'm making these, I was making these, I still am making these for healthcare workers, and I want to make sure that they're able to insert a filter to protect themselves a little bit better. Okay, here we go. Stop talking. Oma, I love you. Okay, hope my hand wasn't in the way. Bring your needle up and just cut this out. Now I'm going to take this to the iron and I'm going to press it open from the back side and fold these up. So all I'm doing is turning this over on the ironing board, pressing this down and pressing this one up. I don't think we need to videotape that. Be right back. Okay, so I have pressed my fabrics in, and you can see where they're meeting in the middle here. Okay, if you're using a fabric that has words or pictures, you want to make sure that you have the top in the right position. I made a couple the other day of fish, and I had the fish floating upside down, and I think that might be an omen. So this is going to be my top. Okay, so I'm just going to flip this over. I'm going to open this up, and I'm going to put my pipe cleaner that I had folded down the sides, and I'm just going to put them in there, put the pipe cleaner in there, fold it back down, and I'm going to take my little clips and I'm going to clip that down. And I'm even going to put one in the middle because when I take this one off, it's going to want to pop. Then I'm going to fold this forward like that, and I'm going to sew this in one sweeping motion. I'm going to go up, across, and down just that fast. Okay, so let me reposition, and I'll be right back. Maybe I can just reposition, just turn this. Can you see that? Can you see me? Okay, I think that'll work. Okay, here we go. So again, I'm going to put this in at the bottom. Go ahead and lock your needle in so you can just kind of make sure everything's staying straight. Okay, I'm just going to sew this up. I'm not doing any back spacing or any of that because we're going to be adding the, we're going to be folding this over. All right, I'm taking my first pin out. I'm kind of holding my finger there because I don't want to run into that pipe cleaner. I know some people have broken some needles running into the pipe cleaner. I just feel like the pipe cleaner is really important, okay? But if you're making these for yourself and for your family, you can do whatever you want. If you're making them for healthcare workers, they need a way to squeeze it around their nose. Okay, so I'm going to go to the end. Whoops, come on. I'm going to go to the end here. Keep your needle set so that you can pivot your fabric. I'm assuming everybody knows how to do that. Okay, and then I'm just going to sew down to the other end. Okay, it's just that simple. Now we are ready for our pleat. That's the part that's going to freak everybody out, but it's really not that hard. Okay, so hold on, let me reposition. And I think I'll turn it off this time. So just to show you what we just did, we sewed our back on. Here is our opening that we can put our filter in. We're going to turn it back over. This is the top. I have these little things here to tell me where my working zone is for the camera. All right, so all you're going to do is put your fingers on the sides of this and you're just going to fold that fabric down. It's really just that simple. If you have to, go right ahead and just put a little pin there to hold those together. Okay, so once I did about 5 of these, I got really good at this. Now that I'm doing it in front of the camera, I'm going to be a 3rd grader again. All right, so there is my first pleat. You can finger rub it if you want. Okay, so you're just going to stick your fingers underneath there and you're going to fold down your second pleat. Okay, it's just that easy. Everybody see that? So grab another one of your pins, lock that down, get on there. Grab another pin over here. This is not the heaviest of cottons, so it was a sheet that I used as a cochineal blanket when I was eco printing. It's very nice, but it's not very thick. Okay, and then the third one again, you're just going to put your fingers underneath there and you're going to pinch. So you're just going to pinch that down, and that is just, it's just that easy. I'm going to put my cup here just to hold everything in place. I'm going to go ahead and add a 3rd clip here like that, and I'll add a 3rd clip here. As a matter of fact, I might undo the 2nd clip so that I can really define that pleat. You can't see because I have the cup in the way. You can't see because I have my hand in the way. I'm so sorry. I just don't know how else to do this. Okay, now to hold it in place, I have these fun little things I've used in quilting for years for binding. If you don't have these, you don't need them. It just helps me to hold things in place. Again, when I'm doing production, 50 of these at a time, I'm not doing this. Okay, so it's gonna look like that, and then we're just gonna sew down the sides to hold this together. Hold on, I'm going to reposition. Maybe I can just, yeah, I think I can just do that. Okay. Don't walk in front of the camera. You guys will see my big butt. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm just going to scooch this over a hair so you can see it a little better. I'm just going to grab this. And yeah, it might be easier if you sew down, you know, instead of sewing against the pleats, you sew with the pleats. I've done it both ways. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to move this down a little here. I'm going to lock in my, whoops, I knew that was going to happen. I'm going to lock in my needle so that my thread doesn't come flying out of that needle. I hate when that happens. Okay, and I'm just going to stitch that down. Again, I'm not back spacing. You can go ahead and take these pins out, or you can leave them in. You're far enough away from them. They shouldn't be in your way. Okay, so there's the first side. Taking out my pins. My needle is up. I'm going to give it a good yank because I don't want that. I have a hard time threading the needle. So I waste a little bit of thread, but I save a lot in time because my needle's not constantly becoming unthreaded. Now I'm going to do exactly the opposite of what I just told you to do, and I'm going to sew against these pleats just so you can see it really doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to lock my needle down, and I'm trying to, maybe I can take these so I can move my hand, take the pins off. Okay, so, whoops, that little pleat moved, who cares? Don't really care. This mask is for me, so I really don't care. Alright, so I'm going to cut my thread off. And that pleat moved a little. I just really don't care. I think it's fine. I'm going to take my pins out. Okay, and now this is what it looks like. Those are your pleats. It's fine. If you want, you can press that down, and maybe I'll go do that. Okay, be right back. Okay, all I'm going to do now is, you can see, here's the front with the pleats, here's the back. I'm going to fold these up twice so that I have a nice clean edge. So I'm just oops, this fabric is so light it doesn't want to fold. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and clip that down. And I'm going to clip this thing. That looks terrible. And you fold it over. Try to hold on to it so it doesn't get away from you. And if they're not tucking in nicely, you just have to kind of use your fingers, or, you know, just grab something to lay that in. All right, pin that down. Clip that down. And turn it over and do the other side. And just don't let go of it, because if you let go of it, it tends to fly away from it. Again, you could stand and do this at the iron if you want. I have never used an iron so much than I have in the last week. Alright, clip this down. Or you can pin if you don't have clips. Okay, so that goes there. Now I'm going to take my 2 pieces of elastic, and I'm just going to tie an overhand knot at the top. This is the cord elastic, and I've cut this 12 inches. I'm tying this in a knot, just running that up as close to the top as I can, pulling on it, and then I'm opening it and pulling on it, and just to make sure it doesn't come undone. So let me show you that again in case I was out of frame. You're just doing an overhand knot, so you bring the 2 ends together, you tie a knot, you bring both ends through, and then you run it up to the top with your fingers. Okay, like that. And pull, pull, pull. Alright, so I'm just going to lay this inside here and undo one side. Some people put it on the safety pin and they run it through there. I don't like that technique. I have a hard time with that. To me, that's just an extra step. So I'm just going to take that there. Some people say, well, why didn't you do that when you were folding up your ends? Sometimes I do. It just depends on my mood and my organization skills. Oh, I didn't get that one in. Make sure you snap that in. Snap in there. Okay, so there's one. And again, if you want, you can grab, you know, something just to hold that down, so when you take the one off, you're still locked down in the middle. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. I'm going to add this, so I'm going to pick this one off, and I'm just going to shove that elastic down in there. Can you see what I'm doing? It's not rocket science. Put the pin on, or the clip, whatever you're using. Then come over to the other side, secure it under there. Get everything nice and cutesy. Okay, pin that down, and make sure, pull it so it's tight. Okay, there we go. And then take another clip if you want, and just hold that down. Now we're going to go to the machine, and we're just going to sew that in. Okay, so let's see if I can just change my position here without having to turn this off. I think I can. And I wish I had changed my color thread now, because this bright green is really not very attractive. Okay, so I'm going to put this in. I'm going to hold my threads while I lock down my needle. This time I will back stitch, and I'm trying to get that little knot up there, and it's being a butthead. All right, so here we go. This time I will backstitch because it's really important that that doesn't come out. All right, when I get to my, obviously when I get to my clip, I got to take it out. I'm having a hard time. I think I got it. All right, let me come to the end a little so that it stays in. I got to take this out because it's catching, so just make sure you hold on down here and don't let go. I think I just hit the knot of the elastic. Come on, butthead. Come on, butthead. There we go. Oh, I'm saying butthead on camera. Oh, visions of my children's upbringing. Okay, grab the scissors, or if you're Dutch, you could say, what did I used to say to my kids? Hide bent handlebar in the deep freeze. And you know what that meant? Okay, well, look it up. I'm not going to tell you. Okay, I think I should do it this way. I think you guys can see better, so take that off. I'm going to lock my needle down, and I'm going to do a back stitch. Getting close to my pin here, so I'm going to take that out. I'm going to try to, well, tell you what, let's just get going. Come on, guy. Oh, it doesn't want to work. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, sweetheart. Okay, what is wrong? I really want to get those things in there, but I might just have, well, tell you what, bring them both up. How's that? Yep, that'll do it. Okay, here we go. Oh, goodness. Come on, sweetheart. I have really been pushing this machine in the last couple of days, and I think it's ready for a rest. Come on, sweetie. Come on. We got one more stitch. There we go. Okay, do a little back stitch there, and that is it. Cut off your string. Your mask is complete. Okay, you're going to want to spend a little bit of time cutting off all your thread, making it look nice, and that's it. So